On a stormy night, a mother ran down the street carrying her gravely ill daughter. She had knocked on many doors, but no one answered. "Please, help us, my daughter can't breathe," she cried desperately. Finally, a door slowly opened, and an elderly man with a kind smile appeared. "Come in, I'll help her," he said. He quickly grabbed a first aid kit and began attending to the girl. The mother glanced around and noticed the room was filled with medical books and old photos of the man with his students. "Are you a doctor?" she asked. "Yes, but I've retired," the old man replied as he worked to stabilize the little girl. Soon, the girl's condition improved. When the ambulance arrived, the mother thanked him profusely before rushing to the hospital. "Don't mention it," he said softly. "It's what anyone would do." At the hospital, the mother overheard a nurse whispering, "Harry, his license was revoked years ago. He made a mistake during surgery back then." Her heart sank with worry. What if he made my daughter worse? The next day, she decided to return and get to the bottom of it. When she confronted the old man, he sighed and said, "It's true that my license was revoked, but not because I was negligent. I took responsibility to protect someone else. I chose to help others, even if it meant losing everything." The mother was stunned and apologized for her hasty judgment. Before judging people or situations, strive to understand the truth. A boy was doing his homework as his mother prepared to leave for work. Every day she walked a long distance to her job, wearing a pair of shoes so worn they were barely holding together. That day, the boy saw her repairing the shoes again. She gently reminded him, "Make sure your homework is done by the time I get back," before hurrying out the door. After she left, the boy broke open his small savings jar. Inside were a few crumpled bills. He took the money and ran to a gardener, buying some fresh flowers. Carefully trimming and arranging them into bouquets, he stood outside a luxurious hotel, selling them to couples who were delighted to buy from the earnest young boy. That evening, when his mother returned home, she saw that his homework was unfinished. Frustrated and exhausted, she scolded him, "I work 2 jobs, wear these broken shoes, and can't even afford decent clothes just to give you a better life, but you don't listen or take your studies seriously." The boy, tears streaming down his face, shouted back, "Mom, you deserve better too. That's why I bought you these shoes." His words left her stunned. She looked down and saw a new pair of shoes in his small hands. Realizing the effort and love behind his actions, her anger dissolved into tears. She hugged him tightly, sobbing uncontrollably. Sometimes love isn't spoken. It's shown through quiet actions that touch the deepest corners of the heart. A man had a good friend and a girlfriend. One night his car broke down, so he called his friend. "My car broke down. Can you come help me push it? I'm really busy right now," his friend replied. He then called his girlfriend. "Can you come help me? I'm stuck." "Sorry, I can't. I'm having dinner," she said. The man sighed and pushed the car to the side of the road by himself. The next day, while sitting alone at home, his phone rang. It was his girlfriend. "My car won't start. Can you help me?" "Of course, I'll come right over," he answered without hesitation. That evening, he called his friend. "Do you want to hang out?" "Not now, I'm playing a game," his friend coldly replied before hanging up. That night, the man sat alone in a cafe drinking coffee. A woman sitting next to him said, "You look lonely. Do you need company?" "Definitely," he replied. "It seems like no one is ever around when I need them." The woman smiled gently. "You'll soon learn something important." The man furrowed his brow. "What is it?" The woman replied, "Don't prioritize those who only prioritize you when they're in trouble." A young man who had just started his own company rented a luxurious office and decorated it with antiques to make it look impressive. As he was sitting inside, he saw a man walk in. Wanting to appear successful and busy, the young man picked up the phone and pretended to be negotiating a big business deal, casually throwing out large figures and making numerous promises. After finishing the fake call, the young man asked the visitor, "How can I help you?" The man replied, "Yes, I'm here to install your phone line."
When I was a child, I vividly remember one evening after my mother had finished a long day of hard work. She prepared dinner. The kitchen was filled with the delicious aroma of golden fried eggs and fragrant sausages. However, There was one thing that caught all of my attention: a plate of slightly burnt toast. As my mother placed dinner in front of my father, I remember waiting to see if anyone would notice the burnt toast. But my father simply picked up the toast and ate it, smiling at my mother. Then he asked me how my day at school was. I don't recall what I said that evening, but I do remember watching my father spread butter and jam on the toast and eat it bite by bite. As I got up from the table, I heard my mother apologize to my father for the burnt toast, but I will never forget his response. "Darling, I like my toast a little burnt." Later that night, I went to say goodnight to my father. I asked him, "Dad, do you really like burnt toast?" He hugged me and said, "Your mother worked hard today. We shouldn't overlook all of her efforts because of a minor flaw. In this world, we need to learn to accept each other's imperfections. Embracing our differences is crucial for creating a healthy and lasting relationship."